Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today we are talking about gym anxiety. Whether you are starting over at the gym or starting as a beginner. For the last couple years, I've been working out in our home gym. I used to have a gym membership, but when I moved in with Paul, he had so much gym equipment, I felt like it was silly to have a membership, and I just worked out at home. However, I've been really missing the gym lately, so I decided to get a membership again, and I have been loving it. But going back into the gym was a little nerve-wracking for me at the start. When it was time to sign up for my membership, I was really nervous to go for the first time. I felt like I was a beginner again, and that was really hard for me and my ego. But all the staff there were so nice and kind and welcoming, and I felt way better right away. If you're new to this podcast, you probably don't know, but I was in a car accident in October of 2024, and I wasn't able to do regular workouts or exercise for pretty much a whole year. I was able to do some physio exercises, but aside from that, I really wasn't moving much. And that was a huge change for me because I was used to working out every day, sometimes twice a day. So it was a really hard change for me to not be able to work out. And now that I'm able to move my body much better and without pain or with minimal pain, it's been really exciting, but there has been some things that I've found hard. First, I've had to lower my weights quite a bit than I'm used to. I did hip thrusts the other day, and I used to have like two 45-pound plates on each side, maybe even more. And I had to just start with 10 pounds on each side. And that was a huge hit to my ego. And I hate to admit that, but it was tough. I also realized I forgot how to do certain exercises. I had been doing these exercises for a very long time, but because I've been off for so long, I really had to think about how to move properly in these exercises. It almost felt like I was back to being a beginner. But after going to the gym, even just after a couple of days, I realized how much I have grown and realized how I would have felt before the accident versus how I feel now. So before the accident, if I had to lower my weights or didn't know how to do an exercise, I would be so upset. I would beat myself up over it. I would feel bad for myself. I would feel insecure, and it would have probably affected my mood for the rest of the day. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still some hard days where it is frustrating, but for the most part, I am just so grateful that I'm able to work out again, that those things don't matter to me as much. So I feel like I've just come such a long way, but I can definitely relate to anyone who is new to the gym or starting over. And I wanted to provide you with some tips to make the gym more comfortable for you and have a better experience. So whether you are just starting at the gym now or you're starting back after being gone for a while, I really hope this episode can help you. So let's first talk about the emotional side of being a beginner. It can feel very awkward. You can feel very self-conscious or behind. You often compare yourself to your past self or other people in the gym. Like I mentioned, this does creep up sometimes, not as bad as it would have before the accident, but it does creep up of comparing like, oh, I used to do this amount of weight, now I can only do this one. Or I'll see other people in the gym lifting heavier than me, and sometimes I get a little insecure about that. There's also a sense of grief of not being where you once were. It does suck that I'm not where I used to be, but I feel like my mindset has shifted so much into just being so grateful that I can just be there at the gym. While I was injured, I was just sitting there wishing I could work out, wishing I could go for a run or lift weights or do any of the things I used to do. So now my heart is so full of gratitude that I'm able to work out. So that mindset shift is huge. You also have to reframe that being a beginner is not a failure. It's a transition. You're not behind, you're just rebuilding. And one thing that a lot of people struggle with when going to the gym is worrying that they're going to be judged. But no one is watching you or judging you. Everyone is way too concerned with themselves. And if anyone is judging you, that says a lot about the person they are. Their opinion shouldn't matter. If someone is judging you, that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them and their insecurities. Like I said, everyone is so concerned with themselves and focusing on their own workouts. No one is going to be watching you. Next, let's talk about mindset shifts that help. The first one is consistency over intensity. You don't have to go in right away and do these crazy workouts or lift super heavy or run super fast. You just have to show up. Showing up consistently is way more important than how intense you work out. The next one is you don't need to earn your place in the gym. It's really important to understand that the gym is for everybody. It's not just for those who are already fit. It's for every single person. So don't think you have to look a certain way or have certain knowledge to earn your place there. Number 3 is you're allowed to take up space even if you're unsure. Even if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay to be there. And I will get into some tips on what you can do at the gym. But again, even if you don't know or if you are unsure, remember, I forgot how to do certain exercises. It's okay and you can take up space. And the last one is it doesn't need to be perfect. It's all about growing, learning, and progressing. So your workouts, especially at the beginning, are not going to be perfect. They're never going to be perfect. It's all about how you progress and all the things you are learning while you're there. Next, I want to give you some practical tips for returning or starting at the gym. The first one is hire a trainer if you can, or attend classes just to learn. If you are brand new, I highly recommend this because the trainers will be able to give you certain exercises that are suitable for you, and you can learn proper lifting technique or proper technique for running or walking, whatever you're doing. I think it's really important to learn a little bit before you start on your own. This can also help avoid injury or overworking. If you don't want to do that though, that's okay. Just make a simple plan. Choose what kind of exercise you want to do. I highly recommend doing some sort of resistance training because it's really good for your bones and muscles, especially as we age, as well as some sort of cardio. It doesn't have to be intense cardio. You don't need to be running on the treadmill or sprinting. It can literally just be walking. So I personally do weightlifting, do running, walking, and yoga. So I'm going to share what my workout split is, and then I'll share a simplified one as well. So because I've had experience in the gym for many, many years, I've been active my whole life, aside from that last year. So my intensity is a little bit more than if you're a beginner. So on Mondays, I do lower body and cardio. So I do my lower body workout and then I finish with just 15 minutes on either the Stairmaster, which I'm not up to 15 minutes yet. I usually do 5. And then I go on the treadmill. So I'll either do 5 minutes on the Stairmaster and then 10 minutes on the treadmill, or just 15 minutes on the treadmill, and I walk at an incline. I also do my physio exercises every day, but it depends on what workouts I'm doing. If I'm doing a lot for my workouts, I'll just do a couple physio exercises. If my workout's a little bit less, then I'll do more physio. On Tuesdays, I run. So right now I'm working up to doing a 5K with just running, no stopping, but I'm starting out with interval running, so walking and running. Wednesdays I do upper body and I focus on back, chest, and shoulders, and then I also finish with 15 minutes of cardio. Thursdays I do glutes and core and finish with 15 minutes of cardio. I'm trying to do this every time I'm at the gym, aside from when I'm running, just for getting better at hiking. That is my goal for the cardio. Fridays, I do run and yoga. So I try to do some sort of restorative yoga, like a yin or a gentle practice, just for some recovery. Saturday's my rest day, but I can do optional physio or walking. And then Sundays is run and another upper body day. And on this day, I focus on back, biceps, and triceps. So this works for me right now. I do alter my workouts just depending on what my goals are. Right now, my goals are just to get back into exercising and get more fit and more able. And I'm really working on getting better for hiking season. And of course, recovery is always a priority for me as well. If you are new to the gym, I don't recommend doing all of this. I'm just really excited to be at the gym again. But a more simplified version, you could do Monday lower body, Tuesday you could go for a walk, Wednesday upper body, Thursday walk, Friday full body, Saturday yoga, Sunday rest. So you can definitely modify it to what your goals are and what you're able to do right now. You also don't have to work out that many days a week. I do recommend doing resistance training 2 to 3 days a week and doing some sort of movement on the other days, even again if it's just a walk. When it comes to resistance training, you want to start smaller than you think. You actually shouldn't be doing a million different exercises. Just choose 1 to 3 exercises per muscle group. For example, I'll share some of my workouts so you can see how many exercises I'm doing for each workout. So for my lower body day, I do squats, single leg deadlifts, leg extensions, hamstring curls, and glute extensions. So I'm working my quads, my hamstrings, and my glutes. I am really focused on glutes because it does help strengthen your back, which is where my injury was. So I really want to strengthen my glutes, and also for aesthetic reasons, I want to strengthen my glutes. For my upper body A day, that's back, chest, and shoulders. For back, I do want to prioritize my back because, again, I want to strengthen it, but I also want it to look nice. So for back, I'm doing pull-ups, cable rows, and face pulls. For chest, I just do one exercise. I do chest press. And then for shoulders, I'm doing 2 exercises. I do shoulder press and lateral raise. My shoulders have given me a lot of issues in the past. So again, I want to strengthen that a little bit more. For glutes and core, for glutes, I do hip thrusts, split squats, step ups, and glute cable kickbacks. So those are all targeting my glutes. And then for core, I'm doing cable wood chops, knee tuck ups, flutter kicks, and dead bugs. So just 4 exercises for glutes and 4 for core. My upper body B day, that's back, biceps, and triceps. I do lat pull downs and pull ups for back. I have pull ups on both back days because I do have a goal of being able to do 5 pull ups again. I was able to do that during 75 hard, and I was so excited. And then, of course, I lost it because I couldn't do anything for a year. So I want to get that back. So I am prioritizing pull ups. For biceps, I'm just doing 1 exercise, bicep curls. Triceps, 1 exercise, cable pull downs. Those smaller muscle groups, you don't need to do as many. It's more the larger muscle groups that you should do a couple more exercises. But biceps and triceps, you really only need to do 1. And then I'm doing back extensions for my lower back. And that's all I do. And usually I stick with my workout routine for usually 8 to 10 weeks, and then I alter it a little bit just with different exercises to give me some variety and so I don't get bored. But you want to stick with it for at least 8 weeks. There are also so many good resources online of great workouts. There's a couple girls on TikTok that I follow that really inspire me and have taught me a lot. Meet Madeline is one of my favorites for nutrition and workout tips. I will put all these names in the show notes so you can read it. And I also love Kate Thomas and Jessica Bickling. They are all very down to earth and realistic. You want to follow people who inspire you, though, not that you compare yourself to. All these girls have an amazing physique, but they're also very real and talk about real issues and give really tangible tips. Another thing you can do is track showing up, not performance, or at least do this at the start. So instead of tracking all your weights or how much you're progressing, you don't need to track this right away. I do recommend starting to track that a little later on, but if you're new to the gym or just coming back to the gym, just track showing up because showing up is the most important thing. It's also important to expect soreness, awkwardness, and mental resistance. I've gotten so much better at not caring what I look like at the gym. If I have never used a machine before, I used to be way too scared to try it in front of people. But I learned that no one really cares, and oftentimes people will help you, especially staff members. And like I mentioned, there are some days where it's a little bit harder for me, but again, no one is actually watching you. They're focused on themselves, so don't worry about that. Expect that it's going to feel a little awkward sometimes. You're going to have mental resistance, and you're definitely going to be a little bit sore. You will also build confidence through repetition, not motivation. So the more often you are showing up, the more confidence you're going to build. You also want to choose exercises that you feel safe and capable of doing at first. They can be very basic. Start with squats, push-ups, bicep curls. You don't need to do anything complicated right away. Don't start out with deadlifts. You want to choose things that are safe for your body until you learn proper form and that you're capable of doing, and that will help build confidence as well. Being a beginner teaches you a lot. I've developed a much healthier relationship with exercise and the gym. I've also learned to have self-compassion, patience, and how to support myself. And I've learned how to be so much more grateful. I want you to ask yourself, what if this phase is not a setback, but an initiation into a healthier relationship with movement? So I did a whole episode on lessons I learned from my car accident, but I think this is the biggest one. I used to have a really unhealthy relationship with my body and with exercise. But after not being able to move my body, I have just seriously opened my eyes so much to what our bodies are capable of and how much we take our bodies for granted. There'll be days at the gym where I'm running on the treadmill or lifting weights, and I'll start to tear up out of happiness and gratitude because I'm just so grateful that I'm able to move again. So even if you are a beginner, you will learn so much. But starting over can often feel harder than starting for the first time. This is because you were once able to do so many different things, different exercises, lifting heavier, running faster. It's really hard when you have to start over because you feel like you lost that all, but you didn't. It'll come back so much faster than you think. I started out with literally using like resistance bands and 5-pound weights and just walking on the treadmill. And today I did 5-minute run, 5-minute walk 3 times. And for the last minute, I like ran. It wasn't quite a sprint, but it was more than a jog. And this is only like a couple weeks after I started again because your body remembers those things and things will come back to you so much faster than you think they will. Another way to track your progress is tracking emotions. Measure your confidence, ease, and how you're feeling. I take note every time I'm going to the gym, every time I'm at the gym, and when I leave, how I'm feeling. Are you starting to get excited to go to the gym after you've been going for a while? I know for me, I've literally become addicted. I can't wait for my next workout. I think about it all the time. And unfortunately, it took me being injured for a year to appreciate my body and have a healthy relationship with exercise, but you don't have to let that be you. Just know how many people wish they could exercise, how many people wish they could have your body and be capable of exercising and just moving their body in general. I want to end with some encouragement. So I want you to know that when I went to the gym previously, when I was going every single day and I was lifting super heavy weights and I was pretty fit, I never ever judged someone for how they looked or what they were doing. Like I said, anyone who matters won't judge you. And I sure don't judge anyone now. I've wondered if people judged me for lifting light weight or walking around looking a little lost, but I realized it doesn't matter. Their opinions don't matter to me. I'm there for me. And I'm so focused on just getting back to even better than I used to be and just being able to move. So I don't care if anyone judges me, even though I know they're most likely not even paying attention to me at all. If you're nervous to start, that is so normal. You don't have to feel confident to begin, you just have to show up. It's also important to know that some days will be harder than others. Sometimes when I'm having a bad day, it's much harder to want to show up. But I've never regretted going to the gym. I've only regretted not going. I always feel better after a workout. Some days I don't feel very confident, and those days can be mentally hard, but you have to push through it. Those days are so normal, even for the people who have been going to the gym for years and are super fit. Everybody has off days and days where they don't feel like their best selves. Again, it's all about consistency. Lastly, I wanted to leave you with some journal prompts. As you know, I love journal prompts. The first one is, what story am I telling myself about being a beginner? So what story have you made up in your head about being a beginner? And the second one is, where else in my life am I afraid to be new? Because remember, we were all new at some point in our lives with whatever we're doing, whether that's a job or going to school or going to a sport or going to the gym. Everybody starts out as a beginner. That is it for today's episode. I really hope it helped you gain some confidence about going to the gym and reduce some of that gym anxiety. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those, whether it's just about gym anxiety in general or about my specific workouts. You can DM me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod, or you can use the anonymous link in the show notes to ask a question or suggest a future topic idea. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you would rate, review, follow, and subscribe, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.